are different. Like she had expected a new chapter, something, even if it is magic, something extraordinary, and there wasn't it. It wasn't. Just another day, just another mundane day like every day. Nothing is going to change. I slowly gathered my things. I was sad, I was broke. I did not understand what this was all about. I still felt the sweet warmth of her lips on my lips, on my skin. I still felt her. I still felt this beautiful body on me, which was now dressed, which was then dressed and distant from me. Unreachable. I could not understand. And with every piece of cloth I put on myself to cover my body, to cover my penis, which was not long ago connected to her, which desired her, wanted to be connected to her, craved her grasp of a flower. Now I was left behind, like something had shattered, and I did not know what. I put on my clothes, and she just watched me, didn't say anything, watched me. I thought maybe she would feel sorry, maybe she would say something like I should return, maybe she would want to see me again. But nothing. She just stared at me, and her face had changed in an expression like I would know what to do next. We just stood there for a moment. I did not know the protocol. I did not know how to say goodbye, but one thing I knew, that this was a goodbye. I felt coldness. I felt a cold breeze sweeping through the room between us. I felt a barrier. I felt worlds between us. I wanted to kiss her again. I wanted to see those beautiful eyes flare up again. I wanted to kiss her so desperately, even though if it was the last time, I did not have anything to lose anymore. Just one kiss, one beautiful soft kiss, one last impression, one last thrill on my lips, and I can go home. I can go anywhere I want. But I did not dare. I feared her rebuff. I feared that she would not respond. I feared that I would kiss a different woman. I feared that this woman, which I had sex before, this beautiful, gorgeous woman, whom I felt still on my body, whom I felt still all over my head, her kisses, her moans, this woman was only in my mind. I feared that I would be disappointed. I feared that I would fall out with reality. I feared that this would break anything that I have preserved from this encounter, and that I would lose it all. So I turned and I left. I left because I did not know what to do. I left because I didn't understood what was going on. I left because I could not hold this beauty. I left because I was still craving her, and I didn't want to make a fool of myself. I left because I still felt insecure. I could not understand what I did wrong, and I was so close. I left because I was slapped. I was slapped. I was rebuffed. I was pushed away. I was pushed away by a person to whom I felt so close only minutes ago, to whom I felt a deep connection, with whom I had sex. This beautiful woman who was all over me now sent me away, and I could not understand it. I could not understand the world. I could not understand what was going on, and I was left distraught, miserable. What was this all about? I went through my mind. I went through all these memories. I tried to figure out what I did wrong. I had feelings for her. Of course I had. I wanted her. I walked home. This is what I could do, just one. The moment I walked out of her home, she closed the door behind me, like I was just there for a short visit. I could do nothing else than walk home. I was not meant to stay, but I didn't understand it. And I walked home, distraught, lost. I still felt. I thought to myself how beautiful it would be to just hold someone's hands right at that moment, to just walk with someone, with this beautiful woman, walk home, to ensure myself that this world was different, to hold on to the change which had happened inside me, to grab and to ensure myself that it was real, that this was not in my mind, because I still couldn't fathom it. I still couldn't understand it. I wished that she had walked with me hand in hand. I wished she had held me so that I could have made sense of it all. But she stood behind. And I walked home. I walked home like someone who had lost a great opportunity. I walked home like someone who saw beauty, who saw unimaginable, who saw and felt blissful ecstasy for what it was worth, who experienced deep desire, passion, craving. I walked home like someone who had seen into and stared into the beauty of this world, and who still needed time to understand and fathom it. But yet I was sad, I was distraught, because I walked home alone. I walked home alone in my mundane life. I walked alone in a world I knew too well. It was nothing inviting anymore. From that day on, my life changed. From that day on, I was restless. I could not stand and sit in my home again. My life had changed. All the walls. The moment I entered in my home, I was not the same person again. My home became for the first time alien to me, because I was alien to it. On all these walls, on all these corners in this house, on the floor, the treads, the footprints of all the generations who lived before me. Now it meant nothing. Now I would walk through these hallways, through those rooms, like a different person, like someone who imprints himself newly on these walls, sees himself newly in a different light, understands himself as different, as alien. I was not the same anymore, but in the beginning I enjoyed it. I felt a thrill, I felt an excitement. I felt that my life was not mundane anymore, that my life had a purpose, a meaning, a deep sense, and I felt a craving for the outside world, craving for more. I wanted her so desperately. And I concocted a plan to get her back, to convince this beautiful woman that I am the man she can be with. I wanted to convince this beauty that we can stay together, that we can be together. I had made up my mind. I had thought of everything. How I would swoon her, what I would tell her. I felt more resolutely now. I felt more assured of myself. I had gained self-esteem. I had gained experience. I wanted to preserve beauty. I had thought of everything, but I did not think of one thing, and this was I would not see her again. I waited her over at the supermarket. She did not appear. I walked to her home, rang the bell. No one was at home. The home seemed to be vacated. People gone. I was distraught. I was devastated. I waited for her day by day. I waited for her to pass by, to go near my house. I waited for a sign. I hoped desperately. In my imagination, I hoped that she would crave me as well. I hoped that she loved our encounter. I hoped that she would crave me as much as I crave her, to be with her again. But time passed by, day and day, month and month, and then years. Nothing happened. I never saw her again. And then by the time I started to think whether it really happened, was it real? But I believed in it. I believed that it was real. I convinced myself it was real, and that she, maybe by a bad circumstance, by bad fortune, that she by bad fortune somehow went away, that she by bad fortune wanted to connect with me, be with me, but somehow was distracted. Somewhere her life derailed, and she could not come to me. I imagined that she wanted to crave me as well, because she enjoyed our being together. She enjoyed having sex with me. I was 100% sure of it. I ensured myself that she liked me, that she wanted to be with me. And I said to myself, maybe she was misfortunate. Maybe something turned worse, and she wanted to come to me, visit me, be with me, but then she couldn't, and then she must be somewhere out there waiting for me, waiting for her hero to come, looking after her, waiting for the one true man who could save her. I was convinced that she must be somewhere out there waiting for me desperately, and maybe save her. Maybe some evil villain wanted to punish him. Maybe some evil villain saw me as a threat to his world dominance, saw me as someone who needs to be destroyed, to be robbed of pleasure, to be robbed of his passion and of the one woman he truly loved. Maybe a villain had his hand in this game, and now the world and everyone is waiting for him to catch up, to save his woman. Now the world wants him to go after her, to save her. I was convinced of it. And I was so convinced that I started packing my stuff. I was convinced that somewhere out there she was there, and I needed to be there with her. I needed to save her. She probably right at that very moment moment probably thought of me, wanted to be with me, and maybe she was even